Hey, what is up? How is it going, my friends? So, this is a pancake marathon where essentially it's time to do a 180 and stop just doing 360s, right? And once we do that 180, then we can go ahead and, do a 180 or yeah, no wait, hang on, I said that backwards. Uh Once we do a 180, then we can do a 360, right? Cuz it's about, don't shut the door on the past. Why? Why? Do we not want to learn something? I mean, can we really do that? Can we really not learn something? If we can always look at something different or look at something again, then we learn something again, right? I mean, it's just, it's I think it's so true that we're not really rethinking about our past, right? We're not really reevaluating the past or, past tripping because I really think it's all about the now moment, right? And the fractal of the now moment, and it just there's so many now moments. It's just that's really all there is in a simple way of saying, right? And so it's okay. So quantum string theory, all these things, and all of such, and yet in its simplest aspect of itself, we can go ahead and go forth into that of what it is, of just the simplest aspect of, where is your body, right? Right now. Okay, where's your body, your brain located? Inside your head, right? Oh, okay. So where are your thoughts located and take place? Inside your brain, right? Which is inside your body. So where's that at? Right now, right? All of that's right now. So, really, can you say that you're really not just adding to the past in the now moment? So it's not really the past because you're making it now. You're having it now. So you're not really reviewing the past when you bring those thoughts into the now moment. You're just adding to them, right? Basically. And yet, a simplest aspect of kind of what um, of how all of life can take place, take shape, take hold, is what brought me to this point. Like, I want to touch on where I'm at. Like, it's yeah, count your wins and an attitude of gratitude and all of these things and really doing a 360 to see where I've been and how I can act and then just doing this 180 at this point, right? What is who do I want to be today? Right? I can do anything. I can find my how, or I can, the how's already there, honest, open, and willing. But then it's about do I find my why or do I find my what? Why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? It's about the purpose in that sense. And so, and so an acronym that I put together is why. Welcoming home yourself. What? Wonder how about today? Simply to say, I can so easily, you know, um, find a way to just keep the day going in a way of it's always a great day. We can be super positive about it or whatever it may be that I got up, I did this, I'm like, there's points. There's so many points. It's all based around, how did you show up in your life? How did you try? And I get it. I get it. Some, you know, in non-recovery means of itself, we can say try. What? You're gonna try? You're just not good enough. And it's like, okay, yeah, right. Because it's like there's a point in my life where I was at of simply to say that of oh, if you're not your best and that's your best is to try, you're a keeper. Keep on going. But then when it came down to when I could only try, is that going to be okay for me to say? No, I'm not going to hold myself to that standard. I'm going to live out being a hypocrite at that point, right? And so then it today I see it as, in recovery terms, right? Because, you know, there's a point where that's all we can do. We can focus on our strengths, right? Maybe we came into our own at this moment of seeing how our strengths weren't valued and we only can do what somebody else wanted us to do and we did our best and now man, sometimes our best was I tried and I caught somebody on fire within the levity of that of I'm in the dish pit right? I'm in the dishwasher area, and how can you catch somebody on fire at that point, right? I mean, it just, anywho, it just, that's just a funny thing to say, And so all these things, there's points to where what I want to highlight today in myself, where I've come, where I've been, where I've seen myself, and just seeing that, did I backstep? Did I somehow fall back into my stinking thinking because I got frustrated? I didn't halt, right? I I was angry, right? In that halt, don't get, or if you are, halt. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, and it's like, oh, it's like, fine, I'll Q-tip. I'll quit taking it personal once I get past being angry, right? Basically. And yet, so just to share where I was at in this moment. Yeah, okay, so life happened. Oh, man, life happened. It really, truly, it did. And so, whew, like for instance, right now, the lights, for whatever reason, they keep turning on, right? They're smart lights, whatever, the definition at face value that is. Similar to saying, I just don't know why. I haven't figured it out, and it just keeps happening. So I keep taking the effort to say what I gotta say when they do that, because I'm like, why? And I question and question and question. But life on life's terms, it changes. It's every moment. How am I gonna do this today? How am I gonna show up in my life and just keep on going, right? And rate myself and find myself as, am I in my 30%? Am I good? Am I not? What is going on, right? Okay, so there's this, and just to really hit home that things that are inconvenient and frustrating, that's just what they are. They really, truly are. That might be the best at that moment. And even when it got developed, that was amazing. But is it realistic anymore? It's not, right? But if we don't accept those things of how they are, right? And then there are moments where it's like, okay, what is going on? Right? What are the factors here? I want to know, right? And then it's super challenging when you find out the factors and then you give your feedback, which, to me, that's just me practicing out a talk. Corporations or whatever, you don't care. Are you serious? You have such a lengthy process. It's not like you didn't have this common sense before, per se. You might have intentions of being malice and just being wherever you're at, right? Because there's points. And yet, like for in all actuality, like, okay, so my food order didn't get delivered. Well, why? Oh, because life happened. They per se got injured. The delivery one person, and it's like, okay, oh, okay. So like when that happened, I'm like, oh, okay, this is okay. Well, I'm glad I found out the answer. And then the next day happened, and then it in the computer system, it's only recognizing this, and so I gotta do some work, right? Oh, do I deserve to be paid for my time? Because the corporation that has almost close to $80 billion, you can't just make it right. You can't make it make sense. You're gonna spam the 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 portal of the website message box with all the reviews that you want, but you can't just simply communicate in that thing in the mailbox of what's going on, right? And it's like the same sense of how you cannot add the promo code into the wallet, and you want me to work harder by going to something else. Why? 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 And yeah, ooh, ooh, but okay, so ooh, yes, there are points where I'm glad they don't just put it in there, because then I have to trust that I'm always going to have capability of getting to that, right? In a sense, so I'm glad it goes in, like, there's points. I'm glad it goes into the email, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff to make sure that I know what I'm doing, right? To hold myself accountable, to really already have the information to where I don't have to put the effort into of copying and pasting everything into, and then all that basically, right? And yet, simply to say, yeah, that's insanity how that's set up, but I'm just saying. And so that adds to my frustration of the whole entire thing, right? They could communicate in that. Yet, okay, so in the perfect world, they already would have replaced the food, the freezer food, basically, right? Because there's things happened, and then it going out of food temp because when they told me, which inspired me to get the delivery service, simply to say, was it's going to be an ice refrigeration unit that's delivering the stuff, not a box that holds temps. Okay, so there's points, right? Not everything is perfect. The one of the funny things that AI has said to me is, I was like, why aren't you doing this perfect? And they replied, I'm AI, I'm not perfect. I was like, oh man, that's funny. Yet simply to say, it comes down to that was frustrating, right? And then I had the call, and then I'm like hashing it out with the manager, that salary that spends 12 hours of their day, right? And I get that, and I'm empathetic to that. I really am, and compassionate. I know, I get it. And I even said that they're like, well, it's yeah, and I'm like, I get it. There's points. I get the part where if it builds up and I don't reach out about it and I isolate about the moment, it's just gonna explode. And they're like, okay, thank you. You're right. And so, like, I get all these things, and that you just got to deal with it at that moment. But the thing is that it wasn't less frustrating, right? And so I'm just going through it. I'm like, I want it today. You have two options to deliver this stuff. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, the first option is not this. So you can go ahead and do this. And, there's points, right? I was becoming that cheetah, that invisible cheetah, the monster, the boogeyman, whatever it may be. It was just, there's points where it's like, yes, this is frustrating. But did I look at it that way at that moment? No, per se, and simply to say, really, you know, but during that call, right? Because I called them on the phone, I'm like, what's going on? And every moment they're like, I'm not going to, give you a story. I'm not going to elaborate, like with my experience of someone from like the South or whatever, where they like to give you what they need, have how their experience, because they, in my experience, it's like you got no time in the world and you talk really slow and you got nothing else to do but sit on my porch and drink my tea. And it's like, okay. And I'm just, giving my experience in a fun, lightheartedness of itself. I'm not trying to condemn that. It's like, that's cool. That's you, right? I don't know your common sense. I don't know what's going on. And that's also a factor here too. I don't know why somebody didn't clue in. Like, yes, I get that the food goes out of whatever. Okay, it's not good. Okay. And yes, it does stink that all that happened. Okay. But it's understandable, right, of why it happened. Regardless if it was a puffery piece of or just a misled or not met goal of the refrigeration unit in the delivery truck. Okay, right. And so, but then it's also, there's a factor there too, that why didn't someone clue in to go and get the next stuff prepared and get it done, right? Especially when it's 3 bags of frozen food, right? You can't specifically, I don't care if it's not your job title. Are you serious? You can't just do that, right? Okay, so in and of itself, I'm just saying, because maybe that was a factor why that never happened. And so, yes, it's frustrating that the sticker and all that, and just the whole factor of how I think, simply to say of, oh, that takes a lot of sweat equity and energy, basically, and resources to even get the oil. But you got to make the machine to get the oil. But then you got to have the box to get that stuff, and then all those factors. And that's a lot to think about. It really is. And it can be overwhelming. Oh my God, let me tell you, yes, it can. Especially when you start condemning everybody, because how do they not see how important this is, right? I mean, you already printed the sticker out. Okay. Use the same bag. Oh, okay. Right? It's not like I'm going to eat from that bag, because there's points here, right? And it's like, okay, that's my fault if I didn't wash my hands. There's so many points. It true, if, as, all of it. Oh my goodness, right? Okay, so regardless of all of that, because that is what it is. That's life on life's terms. How can I go about it today, right? All of those factors, and it's not like, there's a point where just because I'm right doesn't make them wrong. And just because they're wrong doesn't make me right. It doesn't make me less any of it, but there's points here. If I'm so willing to condemn them and call them stupid, basically, who's really right here? right? It's like asking somebody that's religious to say, why are you doing the right thing? Oh, because I don't want to go to that, well, yeah, or so you're fear mongered. You're not actually doing the right thing. You're just doing it just to go through the motions. Oh, so an atheist or agnostic in and of itself, per se an atheist or whatever, both the same in a sense of saying that an agnostic asks questions, so there's not that they don't believe in what a religious approach would say or do or per se act without, self-seeking attributes of trying to not go somewhere. I get it when it's hot. Oh my gosh, I don't. If that's what is like experiencing a firebox for the rest of eternity, oh, I don't want to do it. I will be a saint. I am getting together. What in a simple way of saying. And so all of that was frustrating and inconvenient. It is. It really is. But the thing is, during that conversation with that manager that's there, all this kind of stuff that was doing their best to just, okay, okay, okay. Because I was perturbed. I was, oh my God, and I was enthralled. Whoa, man, talk about you're gonna, whoa, rawr. But the thing is about that whole thing is that, did I still have food? Yeah. Did I still have a bed? Yes. Could I go take a shower? Yes. It was inconvenient. Absolutely. It was frustrating. Yes. That doesn't make it suck less. That doesn't make it hurt less. It is as what it can be. And I can make it my whole entire eternity condemning everything. And yet, in that moment, right? Because yes, I wanted it now. I wanted it when I wanted it because that's what I expected. What else do I want? What I already asked for, right? Like, seriously, seriously, get your life together because this is ridiculous, right? But there's a simple fact of the matter is it's not the one, that voice over the phone, it's not their fault, right? Even if it was, right? They could have been at their 20% in their out of their 100 and they had a lot going on and something just didn't do go the way in a perfect world would, right? And so, yes, it's frustrating, it's inconvenient. But in that call, during that thing, I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right. Because one of the reasons why they didn't go with the second option, which there's points, is that I would have to work harder. They see this, right? And they even said, well, if you keep using me, it makes me look good, right? Basically. And I was like, is that why you want me to do this? Is because you're going to keep getting bonuses and you're not going to get paid if I don't, right? Right. And so they're like, no, it's because I don't want you to work harder because I can't cancel it for you. You're going to have to cancel it, then have to put it all back into all that effort, right? I don't want it to be for naught, right? Yes, all the non-perishable items are still here, right? Because without even addressing it then, right? If I did cancel that, right? There's a point where they would have to go and take all of what I got 12 1 gallon water bottles, right? Basically, or whatever. They would have to put all that back. Now, wouldn't I be the cause of making somebody else have to work harder? Just because, yes, 3 bags of frozen food didn't get put back together. There's right, right? And so, yes, I can go ahead and be miserable and all this, but the thing is during that call, and this is where it's about counting my wins and seeing where I'm at and be like, I have made progress. Yes, it's not that I haven't gone back into being angry and all. It's not like it took that away forever, right? Never again. I'm never going to be angry again, right? I just know how to get to serenity faster, right? I do. I get to admit when I'm wrong, which sometimes that's the only way to be right. And so during that call, the whole time I'm like, you know what, you're right? Because there's a point being that I'm like, oh, I'm going to be really super dramatic and say, I don't have any food to eat. Really, I don't have any food to eat. Yes, it might not be the frozen food that I have already, right? And then in my mind, I'm like, oh no, I already know that I have an irritability to this product, even though I already have it, right? And I eat it, right? Because I get it. I love cheese, but I can be irritable to it, right? There's other things, but for sure I like cheese, so there's points here, right? Because in recovery, can I really give up everything and just be a nun, right? Or a monk or whatever? There's so many points. That's not realistic. Don't quit everything. Easy does it, take one moment at a time, just for this moment, one step at a time, and all these things. And so, in that call, I even thanked them. I said, thank you for calling me off the ledge. Because there was points. And I thanked them and all this kind of stuff. And well, what happened today? I already got the order. It happened. Right? And it's not that in that moment I wasn't so expanded and wasted and spiked up in my energy level of, oh my God. Right? There was. And I was. But because of life helping me show up in my life, right? And I chose to, it all worked out. It did, right? And so, it's that's what life can be about in recovery. And it's not that there aren't moments that are whoa frustrating, wow inconvenient. Like what in the ugh? Because it's like WTH. What are the facts here? What exactly is happening? Because I am not with it, and I know there's just something that's not right. But, right? I can't just stay on that. That's unrealistic. I got other things to do, and I don't want those things handed to me because if that doesn't get completed, and I put my life on hold, right? That's what's going to have to happen. Someone's going to have to come do everything else because I'm not doing anything. Right? Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to give that. How we sometimes forget to count our wins. We think we backslid all the way back to where we were just picked up. Right? Even though we didn't. But if that's how it can feel. And so always just keep in mind and comprehend the word serenity in this through the God of your understanding, which is going to bring you and help you see serenity, nirvana, a non-judgmental state of emotion, serenity, peace, clarity upon itself, right? That yes, you can't change what already happened in a sense, right? As I've already kind of stated, you can add by revisiting, right? And then now you're not revisiting it, you're living it, okay? um, until you have some intention of going higher than that energetic level of whatever it may be to stop a wave, right? Just because you want to, right? I mean, like a physical wave, like oh nope, tsunami, no more, right? In and of itself, to say we didn't really take a step back. We might have taken a detour, but really we'll always just keep going. Keep on swimming, keep on swimming. Oh, Dory, you must know so much. You must be the Pinky from the brain, right? Even though Pinky is really the smart one and just humors the brain, right? Because isn't Pinky that on some kind of spectrum disorder? That right? Because they bring disorder to life, right? And those that are not on that spectrum, which could be easily categorized as, in the modern day means of it, a neurological, right? To anywho's, thank you for being part of my recovery today. Thank you, God of my understanding, for being part of my recovery. Absolutely. And thank you to me for being part of my recovery as well. Because regardless of who did what, I did something. I deserve the love too. So maybe give yourself a hug. Because that was the first hug you got today, and that's okay. Because hurt people hurt people. Oh, I know all about that. unhurt people. I like to say I only do that. And it's always okay to just be okay because sometimes that's all I can do, right? And so maybe some have never heard this before, and that's okay because you get to hear it now, right? So the other serenity prayer: God, grant me the serenity to stop beating myself up for not doing things perfectly, the courage to forgive myself because I am working on doing better, and the wisdom to know that you already love me just the way that I am. Absolutely. Have a great one, everybody. I love you.